Hey everyone, and welcome back to Old Charles, the channel where we dig into the stories in your pocket change. Today, we're tackling a coin that every single one of you has almost certainly held in your hand at some point, the 1977 Jefferson Nickel. On the surface, it's just another 5-cent piece. It's made of a copper-nickel blend, it's got good old Thomas Jefferson on the front, and Monticello on the back. It's normal. But I've gotten so many questions about this coin. Alex, I found a 1977 nickel, is it worth anything? Did they make any errors? Should I be saving these? So today, we are going on a deep dive. We're going to explore the history, the mintage, the key varieties, and the ultimate question, what is the true value of a 1977 nickel? Stick around, because the answer might surprise you. The United States was in a bit of an economic funk. Inflation was high, and the coinage system was in a period of transition. The precious metal quarters and dimes of the past were long gone, and even the nickel, which had a silver alloy during World War II, was now a simple 75% copper and 25% nickel sandwich. This coin was, and is, a workhorse, not a show pony. In 1977, the U.S. Mint was producing these things by the billions. Literally. 1977, p. Philadelphia ** 585,376,1977, d. Denver ** 376,607,000 total ** over 961 million nickels. That is a staggering number of coins. To put that in perspective, the U.S. Mint produced roughly 1.3 billion of all denominations of coins combined in 2022. In 1977, for just the nickel, we're talking about nearly a billion coins from just two mints. So, right off the bat, the first lesson is, the 1977 nickel is exceptionally common, finding one is not a challenge. Finding one in brilliant, uncirculated condition. That's a little harder, but we'll get to that. So, if they're so common, why are we even talking about it? Well, because value in coin collecting isn't just about rarity. It's about condition and it's about errors. Let's break this down into three acts: the circulated coin, the uncirculated coin, and the error coin. It's been kicked around in pockets, cash registers, and vending machines for over 45 years. For a coin in this condition, what we call good or very fine, the value is purely face value. 5 cents, there is no premium. The mintage is just too high. So, if you have a jar of old change and you pull out a worn 1977 P or 1977 D nickel, it's worth spending. It's not a rare coin. Sorry to burst any bubbles now, let's talk about coins that never entered circulation. These are the coins that were saved in rolls, mint sets, or by collectors right from the start. This is a different beast entirely. Look at that luster. You can see the parallel lines from the minting process on the fields, the details in Jefferson's hair, and most importantly, the full 5 steps on Monticello. The full steps designation is a huge deal for Jefferson nickel collectors. On most circulated coins, the steps were smooth. But on a mint state coin, having all 5 steps clearly defined can significantly increase its value. A standard 1977 P or 1977 D nickel in MS-60 to MS-63, that's mint state, condition is still only worth about 50 cents to $1. It's neat to have, but still common. But if you get a high-grade example, say MS-65, the value starts to climb a bit, maybe $2 to $5 now. The real prize, full steps, FS. A 1977 nickel graded MS-65 with full steps can be worth $20 to $50 or even more, depending on the market and which mint it's from. The 1977 D tends to be a bit scarcer in high grades with full steps. So, the lesson here is that condition is king. A common coin in exceptional condition can still have significant value to a collector. This is where things get exciting. The U.S. Mint in the 1970s was a high-speed, high-volume operation, and mistakes happened. For the 1977 nickel, there is one famous, sought-after error that turns this common coin into a potential $100 bill. So, what is this? During the minting process, a coin blank, called a planchet, is fed into the press and struck with the die. But sometimes, a coin isn't ejected properly and gets struck a second time. This is called a double strike. In the case of the 1977 D, a very small number of coins received a second strike that was dramatically misaligned, rotated almost 90 degrees. This creates a ghostly, overlapping, D mint mark that is horizontal, instead of vertical. Finding one of these is like finding a needle in a haystack. But they are out there. And because they are a dramatic and certified error, their value is substantial. A confirmed 1977 D over horizontal D nickel, even in a lower grade like AU, about uncirculated, can be worth $150 to $300. In higher grades, that value can go even higher. Now, a word of caution. This is not a double die where the doubling is in the design itself. This is a misaligned second strike. And be wary of machine doubling, which is a flat, shelf-like doubling that has no extra value. If you think you found one, your best bet is to have it authenticated by a professional service like PCGS or NGC.1. Is it worn? If yes, it's almost certainly worth 5 cents. Enjoy the history, but don't plan your retirement. Point 2. Is it shiny and new-looking? Check the steps of Monticello. If it has full steps and great luster, you might have a coin worth a few dollars to a collector. Consider getting it graded if it's truly pristine. Point 3. Does it look weird? Specifically, look at the D mint mark on any 1977 D nickels. Is there a ghostly, horizontal D next to it? If you suspect it, you might have hit a small jackpot. The 1977 nickel teaches us a fundamental lesson in numismatics: age alone doesn't equal value. It's a combination of mintage, condition, and variety. This common coin connects us directly to the bicentennial era, too. All hold in our hands for just 5 cents. Today we're not just looking at a 1977 nickel. We're unraveling the entire epic history of the 5-cent piece, and seeing how this humble coin from the disco era is the inheritor of it all. In the aftermath of the Civil War, the U.S. was on a hard money standard, but there was a problem. The silver half-dime, a tiny, flimsy coin, was being hoarded. The country needed a new, durable 5-cent piece. So, in 1866, the U.S. Mint introduced the shield nickel. This was the first coin to be made from a copper-nickel alloy, giving us the name we still use today. It was tough, it was practical, and it featured a bold shield on the front, symbolizing a nation healing after a brutal war, but it had a major flaw. Its design was so hard that it didn't strike well, often leading to weak impressions. The Mint even had to remove the rays from the reverse design partway through its run to help. The shield nickel was a workhorse, but it was clear a new, more artistic design was needed. Enter the Liberty Head nickel, designed by Charles E. Barber. When it was first released in 1883, it had a Roman numeral V45 on the back, but no mention of the word cents. This was a huge mistake. Con artists quickly realized they could gold-plate these new nickels and pass them off as $5 gold pieces to the unsuspecting public. They became known as racketeer nickels. The Mint caught on fast and added cents to the reverse later that same year, but those early, no-cents versions are now prized by collectors. This coin circulated for 30 years, witnessing the entire Gilded Age, the rise of industry, and the dawn of the automobile. But its most famous chapter is its end, the legendary 1913 Liberty Head nickel. Officially, the design was changed in 1913 to the Buffalo nickel. The Liberty Head design was not minted for circulation that year. But somehow, mysteriously, 5 1913 Liberty Head nickels were produced. Who made them and how remains one of numismatics' greatest mysteries. Today, each one is worth millions. The Liberty Head nickel went out with a bang that still echoes today. In the early 1900s, there was a push for more beautiful, distinctly American coinage. President Theodore Roosevelt himself championed it. The result was the Buffalo nickel, designed by James O. Fraser. This coin is a masterpiece. The obverse features a composite portrait of 3 Native American chiefs. The reverse features an American bison, believed to be modeled after Black Diamond from the Central Park Zoo. It was a beautiful design, but it was notoriously prone to wear. The date, placed on a high point, would often rub away completely after just a few years in circulation. Despite this, the Buffalo nickel became an icon. It symbolized the vanishing American frontier and remains one of the most beloved U.S. coins of all time. It saw the nation through World War I, the Roaring Twenties, and the Great Depression. In 1938, to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Thomas Jefferson's birth, the Treasury held a public competition for a new nickel design. The winner was a German-born artist named Felix Schlag. His design, the Jefferson Nickel, featured a dignified portrait of the third president on the obverse and his beloved home, Monticello, on the reverse. It was a clean, modern design for a country emerging from the Depression, but its most fascinating chapter came just a few years later, during World War II. Nickel was a critical war material, needed for armor plating and artillery. So, from mid-1942 to 1945, the composition of the nickel changed dramatically. They removed the nickel. These wartime nickels are made of a 35% silver alloy, and how can you spot them? Look for a large mint mark above the dome of Monticello. On the reverse. This was the first time a P mint mark for Philadelphia was used on a U.S. coin. These silver nickels are the hidden treasures of the series, a direct artifact of a nation's total war effort. After the war, in 1946, the nickel returned to its standard copper-nickel composition. The design, and the coin, chugged along through the 50s and 60s, becoming a familiar fixture in American life. By 1977, the Jefferson Nickel was a 39-year-old design. The country was in a different kind of funk, the stagflation of the 1970s. The coin itself was purely utilitarian. It was made of that same 75% copper, 25% nickel clad it had been since 1946. It was struck in enormous numbers at Philadelphia and Denver. There were no precious metals, no dramatic design changes, but that's what makes it so fascinating. The 1977 nickel is the ultimate evolution of the 5-cent piece. It's the inheritor of the Shield nickel's durability, the Liberty Head's mass production, the Buffalo nickel's all-American spirit, and the Jefferson design's longevity. It's a coin that was in the pockets of people waiting in line for gas, of kids going to see Star Wars for the first time, of a nation navigating a complex new world. That if you have a worn 1977 nickel, it's worth 5 cents. But if you have a brilliant, uncirculated example with full steps on Monticello, it can be worth $20, $50, or more to a collector. And, as always, there are rare error coins, like the 1977 D double die, that can be worth a significant premium. But more than that, it's a direct link to a chain of history that starts in the aftermath of Civil War and runs right up to today. So the next time you get a nickel in your change, don't just dismiss it. Take a look. Is it a modern Jefferson? A pre-1964 silver dime next to it? Or maybe, just maybe, you'll find a 1977 coin, a perfect, common, and utterly fascinating piece of American history. It's a story of metal, art, and national identity, all for 5 cents. That's the history of